Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Are you concerned with your long-term food storage and perhaps you might have acid reflux problems from GERD, tummy upsets, and just a change of the diet could be hard on your digestive system? We all have concerns about what could happen going forward, and having tummy troubles shouldn't be one of them. So I have a list of the best low acid foods for you to store in your stockpile for your long-term food storage that are actually great if you have any problems with reflux or acid problems, indigestion. These are foods that doctors recommend that you eat on a low acid diet. It's hard to find the foods that we would prefer to eat in a long-term shelf-stable format. But here are 7 of the best low-acid foods that you can have for food storage, and I'll give you a few tips that go along with them. The first item is bananas. Bananas just don't last, and we're all aware of that, but here is a product of bananas that is designed to be shelf-stable for years. These are dehydrated bananas from Alkaline farms, and they have a shelf life of 10 years. A lot of their foods will last longer, but it's a good idea to continue to rotate your food even if it's designed for long-term food storage. How nice is it to know that if you enjoy eating bananas that you could go to your pantry in an emergency when you haven't been able to get any fresh bananas and you could find some nice, delicious dehydrated banana chips. These are really good. Once you open up the dehydrated foods, you need to actually use them up within about a year. You can also repackage them in smaller sizes after you've opened them. You can do things like put them into a clean canning jar and add an oxygen absorber or vacuum out the extra air with a food saver. The next low acid food is apples. And guess what? You can also buy dehydrated apples. I bought these online. I ordered them in a box of 6 cans from the LDS or the Mormon Church. They have very nice prices, a very top quality product, and they're very inexpensive. If you look on the package, the dehydrated apples are packaged to last up to 30 years. That's a long time to know that you have food set aside that's still going to be good to eat and is still going to be fine no matter what your tummy troubles are. The one difference between ordering the Alkaline farms and the LDS or the Mormon Church food is the Alkaline farms includes the plastic lids. You need to order them separately, but they're only about maybe 50 cents each when you order foods from the Mormon Church. Here's a tip that I use when I'm buying the number 10 cans of dehydrated and dried foods is I buy the military P38, P51 can openers. They're little tiny collapsible ones. You maybe have seen them if you were ever in Scouts or in the military. I place one of these under the plastic lid and store it with the can. Then I don't need to worry about having a can opener in an emergency situation. And guess what? You can buy these in sets of 10 P38s, 10 P51s, and they're very affordable on Amazon. I'll put a link to a video I made on how to use the P38 in case you're not familiar with it. They're very handy, they're very compact, and they're long-lasting, great can opener to have with your emergency gear. The next low acid food that can also be long-lasting is oatmeal. You can buy oatmeal in the store just like this, but it comes in a cardboard container. That's not going to last for a long time in your pantry. It could get chewed on, it could get bugs into it. We want to store our food so they're going to last as long as possible. Oatmeal is a very dry, long-lasting food, and if you store it in an airtight container, it can also last for 30 years. Pour this into a canning jar. You can add an oxygen absorber or suck out the air, or pour it into a regular pantry food-safe container that you snap on a lid, and just keep rotating and using it. If you want it to last for 30 years, you can store it in a Mylar bag, put it in a 5-gallon bucket, or you can also buy oatmeal already sealed in a number 10 can. It's dried food in its natural state. It will last for 30 years. This is a great way to buy food for long-term food storage. I buy oatmeal in a cardboard container at the store, but I also have lots of cans that I ordered from the LDS or the Mormon Church, and I rotate those as well. The next low acid food is rice. Brown rice is probably a little better as far as nutrition goes, But brown rice has oil in it, and with oil it will spoil. So brown rice doesn't work for long-term food storage. But if you want to have it and rotate it out within maybe a year or two, that's a great option. But for a long-term food storage that you can set it aside and count on your food staying fresh for decades, white rice is the way to go. It actually has the same alkaline acidity level as brown rice, but the nutrition in brown rice is a little bit higher. You can buy rice in a small bag, put it into a canning jar, seal it in a Mylar bag. You can buy it in huge bags and set it away in a bucket. If you're going to store food in buckets, like I have this big bag of rice here, make sure that you have a bucket wrench lid opener. These lids are very hard to get off once you get them sealed up tight, and they have little tabs along the rim of the lid. Slide the wrench under the tab, flip it up, and you can easily remove the lid. It's a good idea that the lids are hard to get off. That's how you know they're sealed up tight. These are the dried foods that are great for long-term food storage that have low acid in them and are easy on your tummy, but there are also canned foods that you can get, and the first one is chicken. Skinless chicken has always been recommended for people that are having indigestion problems, and you can buy cans, large and small, of high-quality chicken. Many of them are also low in sodium, but check the product that you're getting. Make sure that it's just chicken, that the sodium level is good, and that it's a top quality product. And if you want to try a new product that you haven't ever had before, it's best to choose one, take it home and try it. And if you like it, go back and get more. Don't stock up on a bunch of food that you've never tried to find out that you don't like it, because that's a waste of your food storage dollars and your prepper pantry space. After chicken, fish is a great option for low acid diets. Salmon is one of my favorites, and you can buy it in little cans. I don't usually buy a lot of canned salmon simply because I live in Alaska and we catch a lot of it and freeze it and we can it ourselves. But it's an easy food that you can get, and you can stockpile it and have it for all of the wonderful nutrients that are in salmon. There are all kinds of cans of fish. You can look for tuna, but be on the lookout. I recently bought some tuna and I didn't pay close enough attention, and after I got it home I realized even though it said it was tuna, it had little tiny fine print that said it also included soy. And so you really need to be looking carefully at the foods that you're buying, because some of them, they're like, I don't know if they've changed the rules or laws or whatever, but they seem to be sneaking in products that we wouldn't normally want, ingredients that we wouldn't choose to have in what we think are healthy foods. So pay attention and read the fine print to make sure you're getting what you think you are. I think if it just says tuna, it should just be tuna, and there's no way I would be purposely adding soy to my tuna, because some people just don't eat that at all. An easy way to store meats for, say, your bug out bag is to look for the little pouches. I also store these inside a Ziploc bag when I put these in my bug out bag, because I want to make sure that they don't get punctured and then the food wouldn't be any good. Know that the little pouches of food are not going to last anywhere near as long as a can of food. They're not designed for that. They're for tear open and eat. They'll have a year or two shelf life on them, but they're not going to last the long time like canned meats will. I've had wonderful luck with canned meats lasting long past the sell-by use by best by date. Always inspect food if it's past the expiration date, which I know it isn't really an expiration date. It's a best by use by sell by, but it can be an expiration date. You need to pay attention to those dates, because in some types of foods they just are not going to last longer than the date. But I've had a lot of good luck with canned meats. You want to check over your can, make sure nothing looks bulging, nothing looks like it's leaked, nothing is misshapen. And then when you open the can, make sure nothing is rusty, spurting, gives off an odd aroma. Anything that smells off, looks off, then you need to throw it away. But if you inspect it over and it looks fine, go ahead and give it a little taste, and if it tastes fine, go ahead and eat it. There's one more food that's great for a low acid diet, and that is almonds. Lots of nuts are not good for you to eat if you have tummy troubles, but almonds are very good. I just don't have any right now because someone in my household got into them, and I need to replace them. Try stocking up on some of these low acidic foods if you want to make sure that you aren't going to end up having any kind of an indigestion, reflux problems, or if you just want to make sure that you can soothe an upset tummy in times of emergency when maybe we end up eating foods we're not used to because we're relying on our canned and packaged goods, foods that we're maybe not used to eating. We may be used to fresh meats and garden vegetables, but that may not be possible. And so it's extremely important that we have a stockpile of food that we know we can eat to take care of ourselves until we can get the foods that we need. We don't really know what the future holds. There are a lot of dramatic events occurring in the world right now, and there's always just the natural disasters that come along just by living on Earth. But if we have extra food put aside, then if we lose our job, we get sick, some big catastrophe happens, or we just don't feel like going to the store, you can go to your pantry and make a meal so that you keep yourself and your family fed. Think of your long-term food storage as food insurance, making sure that you have something to eat no matter what the day brings. And that is a very comforting feeling to know that you've done the best you can and you'll have the best possible outcome. If you liked my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might enjoy it. Learn more at alaskagranny.com and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.